Okie dokie. I was going to do a video just specifically on the Vasilevsky injury, and then all of the other things came out as well, and I thought, we'll just make this a news video, and we'll just title it a little differently. Yeah, Vasilevsky's out with a fractured foot. If you're a Lightning fan, is now the perfect time to panic? Probably. And I say that because I like Domingue okay fine as a backup. I don't have him as one of the best backups in the league, certainly. But I think, with Tampa's offense and with what they're able to generate, he's fine. However, while they've called up Pasquale to back him up, I don't think Pasquale's going to get a lot of ice time. I think they'll end up making a deal to bring somebody else in who can split starts with Domingue until Vasilevsky gets back. It's not a short-term thing. Fractured foot, he's going to be out for... I would. They haven't given an exact timeline, but at least a month. You have to think. At least a month for Vasilevsky, and that's going to alter everything for Tampa, which is, that's a rough go. It's probably the one player on the roster that hurts them the most if he gets hurt is Vasilevsky, and I'm including Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman, all of them. I think Vasy is the one that you really can't afford to lose. Crosby said the kid's going to miss about a week. It's an upper body injury, not concussion, so he's going to miss a week. Arvidsson's out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken thumb. Bad news for Nashville fans and bad news for Arvidsson fans. I'm a big Victor Arvidsson fan, so that's a shame to see the kid's going to be out for that long. Subban's also on the IR, but they're being really quiet about why. They're not telling us why he left the game and then came back against San Jose the other night, which was odd. Because he left the bench. We didn't see a play where something might have happened, and I haven't heard anything yet about what's going on with Subban. So those two are a major issue for Nashville. So both Nashville and Tampa are dealing with some big names there. The Islanders had nobody on their injured reserve yesterday. Now they have 3. Ladd, Martin, and Cizikas are all down with injuries. Del Cole has been called up. And Gionta's been called up by the New York Islanders. So Del Cole may very well get a chance to play because Ladd's hurt. Maybe he'll get a chance on the third line, and maybe the kid will get his chance to show he's not a bust. Because at this point in time, that's widely considered to be the case. But I haven't seen anything about Ho-Sang. So I wonder, a Gionta being recalled ahead of Ho-Sang might look bad. If not for when you look at who they're replacing. And I want to talk about this for a second. So you lose a grinder, okay, out of your off your fourth liner. You lose like your physical player out of your bottom 6. When you're recalling a guy from the minors, you're looking to replace that player in the lineup. So it's something I always see. I'll see, well, why did that guy get called up? That guy got called up, but look, the best player down there is this guy. He's getting hosed. Well, you call up a guy to replace what you need in the lineup. So if you need grit, you replace grit. If you need talent, you replace talent. And so that's why it's Del Cole, and that's why it's Steven Gionta getting the recall. Steven Gionta, a veteran, he knows what he's doing. You can just plug him right in, and it won't hurt anything. Cam Fowler, of course, on the IR yesterday. That puck in the face he took the other night, it looked ugly, and he's going to miss a minimum of 3 games with a complex facial fracture, which just sounds... That I get, like it looked like it just knocked out a few teeth, but I guess it must have impacted more than just the teeth. That's ugly, and I hope Fowler's all right. Talking injuries, let's look at the injuries on the Bruins' defense. This is their defense. These are the guys who are hurt. Chara, Carlo, Vakanainen, McAvoy, and Miller. That is 4 of the regular top 6 that are out. Chara's a guy who eats major minutes. Carlo's a guy who eats major minutes. McAvoy, and you know what? Miller, sure, he can jump into the top 4 when Krug gets hurt. It's kind of a scary bunch. This is why I was so deflated yesterday when I saw that Chara had been hurt. It's like, oh, we really can't afford to lose Chara. Non-injury related news. They've talked about playoff expansion. They went through this on Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday. The idea is this, and they're floating it out there, is that the 2 wildcard teams and the next 2 teams that would normally miss the playoffs would face off with each other in a best 2 out of 3 series, where the 2 wildcard teams would have home ice for the entire 3-game set to decide who gets those last 2 playoff spots in each conference. Bettman has no interest in that setup. And you know what? I don't either. It's already a long enough playoffs. We're already playing into June. I'd rather not play until the 1st of July. Thank you very much. I don't have any interest in a best 2 out of 3. And the thing that gets me, and I heard Brian Burke say this too, with going to 32 teams when they go to Seattle, the league finally is in a situation where only 50% of the league's going to make the playoffs, and now they're looking to expand it? No. You look at football and baseball, and while people may not like NFL, may not like Major League Baseball, the fact that so few teams makes the playoffs in baseball makes it fantastic. And I remember when it was 4. I remember you had to win your division or you were done. Now, it did mean that a lot of games were pointless by early September, but it made everything feel so important. The NHL, by having 16 teams in the playoffs and 16 teams out, the playoffs become only the realm of the really good teams. If you expand it so that 20 have a shot at the playoffs out of 32, you're watering it down. And I can remember when there was 16 out of 21 that made the playoffs, there were teams that were in the playoffs that had no business being in there. And the NHL back then, it should have been 8. Should have been 8 teams that made the playoffs out of 21, not 16. But the NHL's always been all about inclusion and everybody gets a shot, which is how we got the 3-point games. But it's got to stop somewhere. So I agree with Bettman 100% on this. And oddly enough, a lot of people are going to agree with Bettman on this one too, which will feel very weird for us all. And last, and this was just posted after I'd put the Bettman bid on the board, Toby Reeder's out a month with an upper body injury for the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see how that affects things, who they recall, and how that works out for the Oilers. But a lot of injury news and a lot of not great stuff. So the playoff expansion is the only non-injury related thing, and I scoured around and that's what I came up with. So I apologize that it's so much downer news for today. Hopefully it's all happy news for the rest of the week. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget there's 9 games on tonight, and it's going to be a fun night of hockey, because it always is when you've got so many divisional matchups and so many rivalries. And Tampa has their first game with life without Vasilevsky, but on the upside, they're playing Pittsburgh, who won't have Crosby. So that makes the whole game completely unpredictable. But let me know your thoughts as always. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.